Whew. It's amazing how getting behind a pulpit just makes you rattle inside. Well, my name is Kayla, and I attend Milford Church of Christ. A pretty new Christian. Most of you probably don't know me. I figured to talk about where I am today because of Christ, you'd need to know where I've been. And it's really hard for me to go back to where I was, so bear with me. When Brandy asked me to give my testimony here today, I have to admit my first thought was how nervous I knew I would be when I got up here. But that thought went away pretty quick when I heard her say I would only have 5 minutes to tell you about the transformation in my life thanks to our Lord and Savior. I grew up attending a Methodist church, and my mom always made sure that I knew that there was a God, and she did her best to teach me about Him. But it turns out I just wasn't all that interested, and I didn't have a heart that really wanted to know God. For a while I sang in the choir and went to church every Sunday until I just didn't see the point in going anymore. I really wasn't worried about going to hell because I was sure that God loved me, and I didn't consider myself to be a bad person. I believed in Him, and therefore I thought I was good to go. Growing up, I always had a love for dancing and playing the drums and just being with my friends. As busy and as happy as I was, I always had a need for a boyfriend. I jumped from one to the other until I got stuck in a bad relationship that lasted 4 years too long. About 2 years after I graduated from high school, I decided I needed to get away. On top of the boyfriend problem, I had managed to make quite the name for myself. Biggest part here is what my senior yearbook has to say about me. At the time, I wasn't the least bit ashamed of this. Really, I just wanted to find out who I was. So off to Alaska I went. I got a seasonal job working at the Taki Glacier Lodge. And this lodge, it was an amazing place, packed full of fun and adventure, not to mention the man of my dreams. So much for finding out who I was, right? My husband, Eric, and I met in 2006. We were blessed with a daughter in 2007 and got married in 2008. By the time our daughter was 1.5 years old, I couldn't take being so far away from my family anymore. My husband, who was just about finished with college, agreed to start over and make a life on the East Coast for no other reason than to make me happy. Little did we know that the family we were really coming back for, we didn't even know yet. On October 7th, 2009, a friend of my brother, who many of you know, Johnny Dodsey, sat down and taught us Jesus Christ and the salvation available in Him. After hearing the urgent message, we headed straight over to the ocean to be baptized. Eric and I were both eager to learn more and to share what we had already learned with everyone. Our joy and excitement, however, soon turned to sorrow as we realized the horrifying reality before us. It seemed as if no one cared about their salvation, and were for the most part unaffected by the news we had to share. I even found out that my best friend, whom I spent countless hours with, is an atheist. How is it that God never came up in the years that we've known each other, and somehow I always assumed we were going to heaven? After weeks of riding an emotional roller coaster, I had to learn how to deal with these emotions. I had to step back and realize that God is the one who opens up hearts, and that it is all in His time. In the meantime, my focus is getting as close to God as I can and really trying to know Him for who He is, not who I always thought He was or who I want Him to be. I pray that my life may be used for His purpose and to help others come to the light. I've started asking myself things like, can I do this and glorify God? Or could I win someone to Christ doing this? These questions, accompanied with honest answers, are helping me rid my life of ungodly things and behaviors. I've since been able to quit a 10-year smoking habit, and the desire to drink alcohol has completely disappeared. I am finding that a lot of the things I used to love, I no longer want anything to do with. I have always had a great love for music, and it is amazing how most of my favorite artists I can hardly stomach anymore. I mean, the music, it sounds wonderful, but the words, they surely don't glorify God. My 300-plus CD case that was bursting at the seams now holds about 15 okay CDs. And I say okay because they don't say anything bad, but they aren't Christian CDs, so I highly doubt I'm ever going to pop them in and listen to them. So it's safe to say that my life has drastically changed since I became a Christian. I'm not constantly looking to my husband to make me happy. And for the first time, I'm actually learning what true love is. What a great love God has for us. And how overwhelming it is to receive His mercy. I pray for myself and all of you that having been born again to a living hope, that you encourage one another day after day, for you have need of endurance, so that when you have done the will of God, you may receive what was promised. And be diligent to present yourselves approved to God as a workman who need not be ashamed, accurately handling the word of truth.